Hi there.
Well, this is another episode of Würfelcast.
Huzzah.
And here we are uh, talking about games and stuff and some
Oh,
other
yeah, that's what we're going to
non-gamery
talk about.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
well, and we're going to talk about prehistory as well.
I remember it
Which,
well.
yeah, which by definition, when you Google it, is one thing. But when we talk about prehistoric games and you go to Board Game Geek, it has a little bit different idea, just a bit. We'll,
Well,
we'll talk about that.
prehistory is just before history, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, something like that. All right, but let's start the show with the usual. Watch us babble.
All right, let's
Here
go.
we go, and here we go.
All right,
And you're
so
gonna
I'm
you're, you're
up.
gonna talk about Badlands. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about Badlands, although he looks like quite the character. Um, no, I have been watching something that I have tried to get into for a long time. This was at least my third attempt to watch this show.
Okay.
And I've made it much farther than I've ever made it before, and that is thanks to a couple of other things. But the show is The Witcher, and
Oh,
I had never
yeah.
made it past episode one. Um, but I got this terrible game from Kickstarter, and as I was sort of getting ready for it, I thought, I've heard that there's a first book that's good, and somebody else that I know recommended it to me, and I decided, I'm just going to read the book. And so I read the first Witcher book, which is a collection of 6 or 7 short stories. And it happens to be the 6 or 7 short stories that make up most of the first season of the show. And so I approached it this time having had the background and not needing to do the work, and it really gave the show a lot of context and made things make a
Hmm.
lot more sense. And because of
Okay.
that, I was able to make it past the first episode. Now, I won't even say I disliked the first episode the other times. It just never grabbed me. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand the characters or the world. I have a bad board game based on it. I have a good board game based on it. I have an unmatched series based on it. So I definitely have some involvement with the world. But it really just took reading that first book to get
Yeah.
me in, and I've actually been enjoying it once I decided to stick with it. So that's what I've been watching lately. It's not new, but it's new to me.
Well, yeah. I watched everything so far. 3 seasons. I don't know how many. I don't remember. Anyway,
Well, I've watched one. Um,
yeah. So the thing is, it. So regarding games, so one board game, Old World, is not really. It's the same world, but it's not about the books or the Witcher Geralt or anything like that. It's this thing. So there aren't many games about the Witcher. There was an old game from Ignacy. I'd never. I don't think I. Maybe I played it. I played some other. There was another like small card game they did long time ago. It was terrible. Something like that. Maybe
hmm.
it's false memory. I don't know. Anyway, the show. Yeah. From the first episode, it throws you in without any context. It just boom. You're in the middle of a war, whatever. Like something happens, but I think they try to wrap the show around Siri as a character. So she's like the main thing. And I didn't read the books. I played the video game. I don't think I played the first Witcher game. I think I played this. Yeah, I played the second one. I loved it. Um, the King's Assassin, something like that. And then I, of course, played the third one. I played it several times. It's my favorite game of all time. So I have this context. So when I went in watching this show, I had some kind of a context, but On the other hand, I don't like the direction they're going. The last season was terrible. It wasn't
Mm,
good at all. I don't know how this show has such a high rating, because maybe some people love it for, like, if they don't have enough context from video games and from books, maybe they just love the, they just, could get past the first episode, first few episodes, and then they love the show as it is. But for me, watching it is it's, I don't know what they made out of Siri. People love Siri from the video game, in a sense. I mean,
mm,
it's a very tragic character, and the fourth Witcher game, or like a new Witcher game, is coming out, whatever, I don't know, in the future, where Siri will be the main character, all grown up, and a
mm,
woman, and whatever, being a Witcher. We don't know much. There was a trailer, but I don't know what they're trying to do here with Siri. I
mm.
don't like her character here.
Okay.
And
Well,
I,
I'm still in season one, so I don't really know what's going to happen after that. And again, I've only read the first book. I don't know if I'm ready to dive right in and read all of the rest of them, but we'll see. Maybe I will. I really enjoyed the first one when kind
yeah.
of read in tandem with the show. So,
Well, yeah, Henry Cavill exited the show. As I understood, he didn't like the approach, because he is a lover of Witcher. He didn't
mm,
like the approach they were applying here. So he exited the show. So now the main character is Hemsworth, not Chris, Liam Hemsworth is the new
okay.
Witcher. So it's gonna be a different one from season 4 and 5. So there will be a total of 5 seasons, as I remember.
Hmm. Well, we'll
Well,
see.
we'll see.
Anyway, the first one has been enjoyable with a little bit of work.
Yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed, but that's fine.
You're
Sometimes you
disappointed
can
that I
be.
watched it after so many years?
No,
Okay.
and, well, you will like the first season is good. The second, I don't know, but it is fine.
Well,
But the third one, you might be disappointed. We'll see. Anyway, I'm into anime, so, and I haven't watched the Sirens song, whatever the Witcher one. People say not so good, but I watch all the different other animes, like shonen animes and so on. And I decided to talk about the particular one that I watch right now. Many of animes that I watch, they have like they're not, they haven't ended, but the future seasons might come up in future years, whatever. I have to wait for a long time.
hmm
So I found another one. So now I have to.
Watch this.
Now I have. Oh, well, now I have several
my phone
shows.
made some noise.
That's fine. The phone farts as well. Anyway, Doctor Stone is an interesting anime. So it's about um post-apocalyptic world. So humanity, and by the way, it's prehistoric in a sense,
I
because
see.
the humanity is turned into stone. Whatever, we don't know about what's the phenomena. Whatever, it's a petrification. Yeah, total petrification of the whole
Petrification.
world.
Okay.
Yeah, and so one day this genius boy Senku wakes up. He was always a science geek, and he wakes up from his petrification. Is like, huh, and the world is, I don't know, like 4,000 years uh past the nowadays, and the world became a stone world yet again,
Hmm.
a prehistoric world, and he tries to rebuild the civilization through the science. So like there's a power of science. There's the antagonist who he wakes up to help, but this antagonist decides that we don't need filthy civilizations and greedy humans. We should, keep the world in Stone Age as it is and live of that, and
Mm.
so on. So there's different things, and uh, there's like scientific stuff. They talk about chemicals and stuff, and he really, really fast. He builds stuff that would be impossible in Stone Age, but he has all the knowledge of things, and he builds a steam engine, he builds tools, he melts iron. It's what does all the different things, and there is a native village of people who are descendants of people who were in a spaceship in kind of a space station when that all happened. So they didn't turn to stone. So when they returned, they lived on in a world, the last human beings, and so their descendants now lived on Earth many thousand years forward. And so the Senku boy, it tries to rebuild civilization and find a cure for petrification. He found it, so they could bring people back from stone. But yeah, there's just this kind of a thing. A very interesting series. I liked it.
All right. Well, I'll trust you on that one.
Well, you can see the rating. The rating is good as well. So yeah, you should watch it someday. It's funny.
I can always add it to my list.
Yeah. Oh, I have several. Anyway, yeah. Hard to describe. Just watch it.
Okay.
Let's get to the next topic, which is recent plays. So I don't have any. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I have watched a lot of anime. I haven't played much.
Got it. Well, my recent play, let's say it like this. I don't know that it quite qualifies as a new game, but that's okay. I've been sort of, as I've had people over here, and as I've just sort of been trying to play more things, I've been playing a lot of 51st State lately.
Okay.
And 51st State is, of course, excuse me. It is yeah, let's go to that edition. So this is a game this is sort of the re-implementation of it. Initially it came out and it was nearly unplayable with many symbols. I mean, like a level of symbology that approaches Race for the Galaxy, and really difficult to play. And then it got kind of remade into a game that I like called Imperial Settlers. And there was a new innovation used in that. It was called text. And each card says what it does. I mean, it uses a few symbols, but the symbols are very obvious. It's like a picture of the resource. Okay, fine. And then it was sort of remade again into 51st State. So this is the third implementation of it. And in this game, it's the sort of a post-apocalyptic setting. You're going to play a faction. The theme isn't particularly strong there because each of the factions doesn't do anything special. They just have different conversions that they can do. But you're going to it's basically a card game. You need a hand of cards, and you're going to use these resources that you get to build up production by playing certain cards that give you more stuff. And you're going to do these deals, which is a different kind of production that doesn't give you any points, but it's a little more secure. And so over the course of 4 or 5 rounds, you're going to be building up some sort of a production engine. You're also then going to have actions you can do to turn things in for other things, and ultimately, hopefully, for points. And whoever gets to 25 points first is going to trigger the end of the game, not necessarily win. As long as you keep pace, you might end up having more points from cards. And then after the end of that round, whoever has the most points will win. So thematically, kind of weak, but the game itself is pretty solid. It's one that's really held up. This third iteration of it is definitely the one to go with. As I've been thinking about it lately, I've been playing it enough. And I think it might even have passed. There was a time where I thought Imperial Settlers was the one that was untouchable. But I think I'm starting to like how smoothly this one plays. Because Imperial Settlers, of course, goes for 5 rounds. It's 5 fixed rounds. And it can feel a little bit long in round 5 sometimes. 4 rounds isn't enough, and 5 is too many. And this one, sort of the variable length, can kind of be a little bit more of an engaging game length. But anyway, I've just been playing a lot of this lately, showing it to people, and when people learn this game, if you haven't been like playing games all your life, like I have, learning this game can be very revelatory for some people, and that's really been a lot of fun too. Is just sort of teaching it to people who've never played anything like it before, and I've had a lot of joy with that. Anyway, it's a game that I really enjoy, and I've been having a lot of fun kind of getting back into. And yeah, there you go. I've been playing a lot of 51st State.
Well, yeah, I played the original one.
Oh,
I tried to play the original, let's say, and it was a
so
long
did
time
I.
ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked Imperial Settlers. I didn't like Imperial whatever the second one is, Imperial something. Um, I I kind of want to try this new edition. I've never played this 51st State reimagining, like in this kind of a Imperial Settlers mechanism with Imperial Settlers mechanisms. Post-apocalyptic world and how it looks, it's totally fine to me. I enjoy civilization theme more, but maybe I didn't try it because I had Imperial Settlers and then I got tired of Imperial Settlers. For some reason, it was like it's a solitaire multiplayer game
Oh, definitely.
where sometimes there's a little bit of take that, which wasn't great. I didn't like it. So,
Mhm.
and on the other hand, you have this solitaire multiplayer game where, yeah, I wanted a different interaction. Probably that's my idea. I don't know how much of an interaction or how much of a difference it is to Imperial Settlers regarding the mechanisms. So
I mean,
we'll
not
see.
that much. Uh, I mean, honestly, it's everything of, and I've said this before, I know with you. Imperial Settlers has 2 decks, right? There's a common deck and a specific faction deck. 51st State has just the common deck, and Empires of the North, which is the other one, has just the faction decks. So there's sort of a different, and that's kind of an approach to it,
Yeah.
right? It's everything is asymmetric in Empires of the North. Everything is fairly symmetric, other than slight variations in the sort of base conversions of resources. So, if you want kind of a shared destiny, this is the one. And I will say that's a little easier to teach people because I don't have to say, well, you're this faction, so you really need to focus on getting your points this way and this way. It's just, okay, these are the conversions you can do. And if you were to, this one might get you more red, or it might get you more gray, and that kind of can help you from the start. But once you're kind of past that first step, there's not that much difference. So it's a little bit easier to teach. The only real interaction, of course, is there's some cards that are 2 cards that only 2 people can get in the round. I mean, you get one. There's only 2, so if you want it, you got to
Mhm.
take quick. And then the other is, of course, the raising, which is in all 3 of the games, where I can spend a resource, red tokens here, to, you'll see on that picture there are those numbers. That's the number I have to spend, and if I spend it, I destroy one of your buildings. When it's
Yeah.
destroyed, I get whatever's on that little corner, and you get whatever the resource produces on the bottom, and then you flip it over. And as a flipped over building, it is worthless, but it's very easy. It's sort of a way to use another resource to upgrade it. And so sometimes you even want someone to destroy something because it's a cheaper upgrade. You can play a more expensive building there for very cheaply and get a point from it. So
Okay.
I'll say the interaction, I mean, look, sometimes it's frustrating, but you learn to manage it, and it's expensive enough that it'll happen at most, once or twice in a round. More often than not, you're going to want to use that resource to throw the cards away from your hand to get the immediate one-time bonus. So
Okay.
I find that it's a good. There is, I mean, it can feel nasty, if you're learning, if it's your first time. But when you realize that's just another way to get resources, and once you figure out that upgrading the dead card is actually a boon, uh, it kind of makes it a lot more palatable.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the next topic, which is crowdfunding.
All
So,
right.
did you choose anything?
I did. There's not a lot these days. There's a couple that looked somewhat interesting, and the only one I think that I've actually signed up with is it's the new expansion to Earth on Kickstarter, Earth Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
So I really enjoy Earth. Earth is another game like Imperial Settlers that when I show it to people, it kind of feels like because I've been having the young people from church over a lot, and this is the kind of game I haven't shown this one to them yet, but when you show this to people who aren't sort of full time board gamers or even heavy part time, it really feels like something magical. This is a game, of course, where you're building up your tableau, and it's going to be a 4x4 grid. That's the end game trigger. And every turn, someone's going to activate something, and everyone gets to do it. And you're also then going to activate all the cards of that particular color in your tableau. This is just a new expansion for it. It looks like it's going to be adding animals. The other game, the original game, has animals, and the animals are just kind of like communal goal cards. So they're not really in the game, but there's an eagle, and the eagle might have four symbols with this this little symbol on them or something. This game, it looks like it's going to try and include them in a more meaningful way. It looks like it has meeples, which, hey, that's new. But even if not, even if it's just more cards, Earth is a game where the first expansion, Abundance, is just kind of coming out now. Super easy to interact with. I mean, really all it does is add a bunch of new cards and one new mechanism that really just lets you get to you get two little seeds that are a bonus, and it can be used for a variety of different things. And once you've used it, it's gone. And if you don't use it, you don't get anything for it, so you might as well use it. Uh, it's just
Mm.
it's an extra bonus you can get. Um, and I assume that this one is not going to change the core game a whole lot because I don't know why you'd want to mess with the core game because the core game is great. Um, but it's got cute animals, and so hopefully it'll add just a few small additional things to think about and focus on. There's also a big box, like a huge wooden crate if you want it. There's an Everdell tree if you want to, to put
Yeah.
your cards above the table for some reason. I'm not as interested in any of that. Just I'm interested in the more things. The deluxe upgrades came out with the second or the first expansion, and they're quite nice. Unnecessary, but quite nice. And it just looks like there's more stuff. These animals that'll be sort of new things to do and experience. Maybe they have special abilities, and yeah, more Earth.
Well, yeah, okay. It was a good game, but you know, abstract
Oh,
puzzle.
very.
That's so maybe adding animals will there will be some behaviors, mechanical behaviors like of the animals. Maybe it will make a bit more sense on a theme basis, but yeah, it's good. I'm just not a huge. There's so many abstract puzzle games out there that based on these, earthy whatever earth themes, whatever themes, real life themes. But at the end of the day, just make a grid, make it work. And I'm tired of that. Well,
Well,
anyway,
I'm still enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this.
yeah. So I didn't really find anything particular for
It's
this
kind of slim pickings these days.
topic. So, but I decided to just you know talk about a specific game that I saw. So there's an upcoming project, AV paranormal, something like that, which was interesting, but it's upcoming, so it's not live yet. So I decided to go with This War of Mine second edition
I mean, I could
because
have predicted that. Um,
I tried to play it. I didn't really play it. I had it. I had it on Kickstarter. I just couldn't kind of get myself to play it for some reason and sold it. But this is for anybody who loves Awakened Realms and wants to try this game, and I'm sure it's gonna be more polished than the first edition. I understand there's some new things going on. This is a very tragic theme, very immense theme. So when you go in, it's not a child's play. There's people. It's war. People are dying from hunger. You know, shootings and betraying each other. This as far as I heard about, there's a video game,
mhm.
a mobile game, or maybe I don't remember, video game anyway. So that was about like, will you trust this person and let him into your home, and but maybe he will kill you while you sleep, or you
Oh,
abandon him,
wonderful.
and then you find his lifeless body somewhere. It's like,
Oh, lovely.
uh, yeah. So you can play it solo
Yeah.
or with the others. Every decision is joined. So the thing is, maybe because maybe why I didn't play it. It's basically a solo game.
Mm,
You can play with the others, but you make joint decisions. Like, it's the same as playing escape room games, unlock or anything like that. So playing alone versus playing with the others, the only thing is more brains, but you do one particular thing together. So
mhm.
so yeah, uh, 1,900 narrative moments. So if you want to get in, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
It has
it
some new stuff.
does.
So
So I'm on the cusp about this one, right? I don't know if I necessarily need it. Awakened Realms games are never small and never streamlined, and I don't
well,
think this one will be either. But it's one that I've been curious about for a long time. I've heard other people talk about it. I've never played it myself. I've never come across a copy. So I'm still thinking about it, I guess I would say.
Katya has a new pose. Look.
Well, I'm not sure that I care about that. I don't know what
Well,
was wrong with her old pose. I don't really even
well,
know what her old pose was. Um,
everybody has a new pose. Well,
um,
Emilia is a lawyer. She has a new pose.
all right,
Uh,
hold on. Let me just back this right now. Um,
okay. Oh, anyway. So yeah,
so I've
if you want
heard
to
this
get
is a
in,
very depressing game,
it
and
is.
I've heard it's also incredibly thematic and really a very interesting. I've heard great things about it, other than the theme. Uh, and the theme, the only problem is that it's depressing. Um, so I don't know.
Well,
It's something I'm interested in. I just don't know if I don't think this is a small, short experience. I think this is a very long, drawn out experience.
yeah, which probably
And
can pack up, save the current state of the game, and probably, I don't
yeah,
know,
in theory, but
and you
I
die a
know in
lot
practice,
and so on.
it
So
once I save a game and put it away, I probably won't touch it again for several years. So having saved it is not really very valuable because I'll have forgotten
yeah,
everything. Um,
well, yeah, it's if you want the story.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
want,
Well,
a huge story, probably this is the one. I don't remember if I think there was like a tutorial, like you learn as you play, something like that. There was something like that in the first edition.
yeah. Sometimes they succeed at that. Um,
Yeah. All right.
anyway,
This
we'll see.
is
Maybe I will. I mean, this is one I was thinking about anyway. Maybe I'll end up getting it. I've got all the other Awakened Realms games, so I guess it would feel at home. Uh,
yeah, like Tainted Grail. All right.
I do have that one.
Uh,
That's a great one. All right.
yeah. Let's get to the next topic, which is buy, try, goodbye.
All right. Well, I've got 3 prehistoric games that at least on when I did a search of what you've played, you had not. So let's talk about these 3 prehistoric
W-
games.
will we argue if it is prehistoric or not?
I don't know if we'll argue. This is not that part. We can talk about that soon. These are games that at
I see.
least came up as prehistoric on Board Game Geek. The
Oh,
first is
yeah.
one of prehistoric construction, and this is a game called Ugtect. And Ugtect is one where basically you are trying to
Yeah. Hmm.
help people to build something. You can see this card, and you're giving clues about building it, but the clues are with a simulated caveman language. And so you're not allowed to speak, and then you will use these clubs to communicate with people by hitting them on the head once, I believe, if yes, something's correct, or twice if it's a no. And it's more of a game that's fun to watch others play than necessarily to play yourself. It can be quite frustrating, actually. But it's a game that's definitely distinctive, if nothing else.
Okay.
The second game, Prehistoric, is a game about cavemen. And this game is called Poetry for Neanderthals. And in Poetry, it's a
Okay.
party game where you've got a word and you're trying to get others to guess it. And the hook is you can only use one syllable words to describe it. So if I won't read that word, but it looks like it's probably poetry. Let's say the word was microphone, which I'm sure a Neanderthal would have a lot of thoughts about. You might say, oh, that's the no-no stick there. It's a lot like the club in the other game. You might say, thing you talk in on web. So you're trying to give one word clues, and
Hmm.
ultimately people are trying to guess it. And each card has an easy and a hard one, and so you can get people to get the easy one and then move on to the hard one if you want. But if you don't get it, you get nothing. So again, really a party type game.
Hmm.
And the third one is a drafting game involving that most prehistoric of creature, the dinosaur. And this game is,
Yeah.
of course, called Draftosaurus. And in this game, it's a lightning fast game where you've got a hand of sweaty dinosaurs that you're passing around the table, and you'll choose one and place it onto your board, and you're trying to put them in different combinations to score points, right? If they're in the forest of loneliness or whatever, you only want one of each. If they're in the mating area, you want sets of two. You play a couple rounds of this, you score up, and you're done. Very light game, very fast game, but and not particularly thematic game, but it definitely has the most prehistoric of creature, the dinosaur.
Okay. So with Octet, you you said it's better to watch than play, and
Yep.
I remember it. I wanted to try it a long time ago, and then I think, yeah, watching it might be fun, and getting smacked on the head might be frustrating. So I'll say goodbye to
Words to
that.
live by,
It's
my friend.
I mean it's yeah. I mean it's just a gimmick in a sense, you know. I don't see how valuable is the game itself. So the poetry for Neanderthals, well, mm, or Draftosaurus. So
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of drafting games, but you say it's light and it's easy and it's fast. So and yeah, I like some party games, guessing words and guessing stuff. So I'll go. Poetry is a try. Poetry
Hmm.
for Neanderthal is a try, and Draftosaurus is a buy in this case.
All right. Well, I hope you'll
I'll go with
enjoy
that.
your new prehistoric game.
I see. Okay. I might not buy it in reality.
What?
Yeah. Anyway,
There we go.
let's get to the topic of the day, which is top 5 prehistoric games. Now, as I said, we might argue what is prehistoric because the definitions that you can Google and when you go to Wikipedia and so on, whatever, it means from the start of human race until the invention of writing. This is prehistoric. When writing was invented, it's already ancient history. So some people
Yet,
also say
if you
dinosaurs
go
are
to
also
the
prehistoric.
dictionary, it says relating or denoting a period before written records.
Yes, but it's a loose definition. So anyway,
Okay. And so, but if we were to go to Board Game Geek,
you go to Board Game Geek. They, for them, prehistoric is anything before ancient history. So anything.
yeah, before
so
history.
so if you go to this specific scientific definition, it's Stone Age thing. If you be more loose on that, it's anything before. It might be 2 millions before, like when dinosaurs were on Earth. I try to exclude dinosaurs. I wanted,
Okay.
I wanted it all to be about uh, this kind of a more scientific definition of prehistory, except one game which I added to the list. Now, it's not about dinosaurs, but it's in prehistoric category of on Board Game Geek.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Fair
valid.
enough.
So I like you can go with dinosaurs. I mean, I'm not opposing that. I'm going like I looked at the list of games I played, and then I looked at the prehistoric category in Board Game Geek, and that's how I chose.
Very well. All right.
So
Well, I mean, I tried not to fill my list with dinosaur games, and of course, the best dinosaur game, Dinosaur Island, doesn't fit on the list because that's those are modern dinosaurs. That's not the same thing. I went with sort of anything that's before written history is prehistoric, um, but
okay.
they're all going to be old timey games. Let's say it like that.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to number 5. Mamba number 5.
All right. So, my number 5 is a game that when I discovered it in prehistoric times, I was so overwhelmed by how amazingly innovative it is. And I'm not sure how well it holds up. It's been a few years, and it's from a publisher that isn't really known for amazing quality in board games. But this is a game about sort of before human time, when not dinosaurs ruled the earth, but various other things, trying to, of course, become the dominant species. And this is the game
Okay.
Dominant Species. This was one of the kind of, I won't say first worker placement games, it certainly isn't, but it definitely was an early one in sort of these interesting thematic worker placement games. Nothing very thematic about cones and cubes. I will say this game
Beautiful game. Yeah.
does not necessarily sell itself very well, but you're going to be playing the role of one species type. There's, I believe, a spider type, there's a bird type, there's a lizard type. And you're trying to sort of develop traits for your character, for your ability, so that you can survive in different types of terrain. And the terrain is going to change, and you get to put a cone on this. So a cube is your species. A cone is the dominant species, which means, of course, you're going to be scoring points for that area. This game came out before Etsy and before 3D printers. I think had it come out when those were available, this game would have a lot of deluxe upgrades with people wanting something other than a cube or a cone. And I honestly haven't played it for a while, but I remember really liking it really being enamored with this concept of how the adaptability and change of the different uh, animals or species was working. Now the game is much too long. Honestly, I think if I were to get it out and play it, I would probably shorten it by 3 or 4 rounds because the full length of it is several hours, and it's an hour and a half of fun that's spread into 3 hours, which isn't the right ratio. But it's definitely an
Okay.
interesting game about that time before we were recording history that no one knows a whole lot about, but there's a lot of speculation, and that is, of course, dominant species.
Okay. Fine. My number 5 is about humans.
Mm.
It's about tribes, and I'm not a huge fan of this game, but I realized I haven't played many prehistoric games, and as I excluded anything without a human, like prehistoric thing, so there wasn't much to choose from. So it's a good game. It just I have some issues with some parts of it, and it's Endless Winter.
Hmm.
Paleo Americans. This is
It's definitely
prehistory.
prehistoric.
It is. It is. Now this is your twist of like Lost Ruins of Arnak, etc., where you have a worker placement and you have a deck building. Deck building in this one, well, it's not as huge as is in other games. I never played Dune Imperium, but the deck building there should be more important. This one
Definitely.
has several. It has this worker placements with card play deck building kind of a sort of thing, and it has this spatial puzzle, territory control, and it has this kind of a on the side you have this kind of a weird another weird puzzle. So the problem with the game is it tries to be several different mini games, which I
It
don't
does.
like. Uh, while I enjoyed most parts of it, like except this small mini game, I don't understand this at all. Should be thrown away, redesigned. So and I like the worker placement, I like the card play, I like doing stuff in this game. But yeah, the mini puzzles was in the way. If you're fine with that, sure, play it. It's a cool looking game. It has good production, and it's a good game. It's just I don't like games where they typically don't like games when they try to cram in different ideas under one game where it could be several different games. It's like
Right.
mini puzzle here, mini puzzle here. Okay, yeah, fine.
This game definitely is not streamlined, but I quite enjoy it. But individual mileage may vary. Definitely, at least has a prehistoric overlay. I won't say that the theme is particularly strong here, but
Well, that's why it's number 5.
yeah, fair enough. All right,
Well, let's get to number 4.
let's go. All right, my number 4 is definitely the most complicated game on the list. And it's definitely about a time period when humans were on the Earth. This game is about the development of sort of modern day humans from earlier iterations. The game is called Neanderthal, and it is, I
Hmm.
believe, it's one of only 2 games from this publisher that I've actually successfully played. These games the other one is Greenland, and it's compatible with this. These games are incredibly complicated. They have, huge, well, small, but very long rule books. The theme is a Phil Eklund game. The theme is very much there. There's a lot of effort gone into sort of figuring out how what you're really doing is playing cards and trying to keep your people alive, and you want to have different tokens in different areas of that brain you see there, which are developing things like speech and processing, and it's a very scientific game, and it really feels like a scientific game. I think this is probably the lightest. Greenland might be slightly lighter. And honestly, they're almost the same game. I could put either one on here, but this one definitely had the prehistoric word in its title. It's a complicated game. It's one that's might be best solo, but really you're trying to survive and develop your kind of type of caveman into sort of the dominant species. Again, with card play and resource management and using those cubes, it's a small box, and there's a whole lot of game in that box. I will just say, this is one to approach. Any of Sierra Madre's games is going to be one to approach with caution, because they are very complicated and very difficult to learn and get into, and very difficult to teach. I enjoy this one, but again, not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, I had Greenland. I tried to learn it or play it. Unsuccessful.
I don't blame you. It's
this one I didn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a good game. I like the game. It's just no. I've also played Pax Porfiriana. That's the other one I've played. So I guess I played 3 games from this publisher. But this one it's definitely prehistoric, definitely very thematic. You'll learn a lot about theories on the development of early man.
Sure.
But I don't know that you'll have a lot of fun while doing it.
Okay. All right. So, well, my number 4 is where you'll have a lot of fun.
Okay.
And it is prehistoric, because it has it in the title, and it's Stone Age.
No. Fair enough.
Well, Stone Age, it's an old game with not in all copies, but very smelly copy.
That's true.
I don't remember if mine was smelly. Maybe it was. At some point, it wasn't smelly anymore. Or maybe like the reprint. But this is a worker placement game. So you place your workers in different huts and stuff, and try to build stuff.
The love hut.
Yeah, you can put your meeples into the love hut, and like you try to gain the resources and then build those huts for points, and do various other stuff, including the love hut.
Yep.
Well, there isn't many good pictures here. Anyway,
no, there aren't.
When you go to hunt for food or wood or stone, whatever, you will roll dice, and your success is based on how many people you have there. So the more people you have, well, in a sense, I remember you roll more dice.
Yeah, you roll more dice. And each of the different resources has a difficulty rating. Like I believe gold is a 6. So if you roll 3 dice and your total is, so there's a lot of division, and you got a total of 11, that goes into 6. 6 goes into 11 just once, so you only get 1 gold. Whereas if you had if you rolled 13, you'd get 2. So
that's to say, the more people you have,
dice.
Yes. So you mean you can be unlucky, but the success rate is a bit higher. And for wood, you I don't remember. Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3. Gold is 4, something like that. Anyway,
no, I think
you
gold
roll,
is 6.
you divide.
Stone is 5, clay is 4, wood is 3, and food is 2.
This one shows. Oh, it's a green.
So that's a card where when you build that card, you buy that card, you roll a die, and then you get that.
Now I remember. Yeah,
that's just one. Roll a die and get something.
Anyway,
the
I played it a
resource
long time
collection
ago.
Is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. Anyway, I played it a long time ago. So, but I enjoyed it. It's a light worker placement game. Just go in there, roll some dice, build stuff, get the resources. It's very streamlined. There is an expansion with jewelry, jewelry, something like that,
Style
which
is
is
the
called.
goal.
Well, they renamed it into Expansion One or something like that, or just Expansion.
Yeah, it's been renamed because the original name was just so ridiculous that people were making fun of it.
There's Casino. Oh, the Expansion. Yes.
Yes, the expansion,
So
all formerly known as "Style is the Goal."
yeah, and there is a anniversary edition which is in winter, but who
Yeah,
cares?
one
It's
side of
the
the
same
board has
game.
winter. Yeah, it's the same game.
Okay,
This,
so anyway,
this is a good game. This is definitely one of the first ones I thought when we talked about this list. And
definitely
it might
prehistoric.
show up. Definitely prehistoric. It might show up on mine a little bit later.
We'll see. All right, let's get to number 3.
My number 3 is Stone Age. So I like this
Anyway,
game a lot.
I
Actually,
showed it.
yeah, you did. This game. So for me, this is definitely the most accessible game on my list. It requires it's very engaged. The rules are real easy. You can get
Yeah.
pretty much anyone to play. It is a little on the long side because there's two ways the game can end. One way is kind of when a deck runs out, and so that will happen naturally. The other way is, I believe, the people build all those huts, and that is going to depend on the players. So I will say the game can be a little bit longer than it needs to be, but everything else is really smooth, really easy. The different actions you get to do can, they have their own thematic nature, right? You put two people in the love hut, and a new one comes out. You get the tools. The tools help you improve
magic.
your odds. Yeah, well, back then it probably was. You feed your people, right? And if you can't feed them with food, you can feed them with wood or give them gold to eat. Let them eat gold. The expansion is actually not great. I don't love it. I played with it, but it's one of those expansions that didn't really need to be made. The core game is pretty solid, though.
Oh yeah, I think the third option how the game would end is if Love Hut is burned down, so no more love,
Yeah,
and
but
people
that's
die
not
out of old
actually
age.
in the rules. Um,
Well, it's my
got
interpretation,
it.
reimplementation of Stone Age, Love Age.
Oh.
Oh, and
So anyway,
but
that's my number
but it was
3.
still
Also, your number 4.
but it would still include this smelly skin.
The smelly cup was really a problem. It really did smell very bad. I think the newer editions have gotten rid of it, but it was a rough experience with that. You'd like open the box and you'd be like, "What's that?" Um,
At least it's interesting. Like it was made out of like fake skin. Like I don't remember.
It was yeah, I think it was some kind
Leather.
of fake leather. Uh,
Fake
but
leather or
whatever
something.
they used smelled like it had died. Um,
From fake pig. Anyway,
mhm.
that's a good game. My number 3 now. Now, don't judge me. Don't,
Okay.
because on Board Game Geek, it's
Uh-oh.
in a prehistory.
Okay.
It's in a prehistory category. So I'm
It's not
saying
a
it is.
mythological prehistory game, is it?
Well, it kind of is.
It doesn't involve anything sinking, right?
Well, it kind of is. Has. Well, it's prehistoric on Board Game Geek. So technically,
Is it prehistoric because it didn't really happen?
well, there
Is
are.
this a fantasy game?
Well, not really. There are some records of ancient philosopher writing about this mythical
Mhm.
city,
Mm-hmm.
which people still believe happened. So it's before our history.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's
In an
true,
alternate timeline, even.
whether it's true completely or not, we don't know. Maybe there was a civilization that
Uh-huh.
was destroyed in a great flood, and then basically we are ancestors of all of these people. Atlantis Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, and second edition, of course. Well, look, what does it say here? It says prehistoric. Everything else is not relevant, so let's
Yeah.
get away from that. Yeah.
I saw this on the list and I rolled my eyes. I'm like, well, that's really a stretch. Who would put this on their list? It's a fine game. It's just not really a prehistoric game.
Well, I
By
used
any
all
realistic
the
definition.
tools. I used all the tools available. I said I
Uh-huh.
haven't played that many prehistoric games. Uh, well, Atlantis Rising is about this lost civilization, which was definitely real. Yeah, it was very real. We know nothing about it. There's no written records about it. You know, it's prehistory. Anyway, it's a worker placement cooperative game where you put workers on those different land masses, which will eventually sink from outer layer to the inner layer. You're trying to, you know, trying to win the game before you sink completely.
Mm-hmm.
And the further you go into the coast, the nearer you are to the sea, the more risk it is that your people will sink. But
Mm-hmm.
the easier is, or the smaller is the divider. So, like, if you roll dice, you have two people, you roll two dice, whatever. Then each 5 is a success. You get the resource. If you go to the more safe spots, you can see there's a 6. You have to roll 6 in order
Mm-hmm.
to get that resource. So there's that mechanism, a little bit like Stone Age mechanism, where you have to roll a certain amount of things, and you are trying to build the different prehistoric mechanisms, uh, technological but prehistoric, that will basically help you raise the city from the ground, from the water, and save the city from sinking.
By teleporting yourself through a dimensional portal to somewhere else. Yes.
Something like that. It's
Yeah, something
very
like that.
prehistoric. So, there's also expansion, which I've never played, but it's
It's an
a
okay
solid
expansion.
game. The first edition was rough.
The
The
first edition
second
was real rough.
editions, they did well with the second edition,
Yep.
because I didn't like the first edition. Then I was
I
like,
didn't
oh,
either.
this one is good. So, and the worker placement is just a free roam. You just place your workers everywhere. There's no rounds. That's why it's faster. So, and you have your special
Mhm.
abilities and stuff we're trying to do. Well, yeah. So it's
It's a
it's a
good game.
prehistoric game, according to Board Game Geek.
Mm-hmm.
So
You gave up
yeah.
halfway through the list, didn't you?
Well, I didn't, but
Okay.
it was. Well, what would I put here? Like Greenland or something like that? I don't know. Greenland
I
isn't
mean,
even prehistoric.
it is actually, but
Well, the only thing, if I would have added dinosaurs, but according to Wikipedia, dinosaurs are not prehistoric. So, well,
but apparently Atlantis is.
yes. So
Uh-huh.
you
Okay.
see, I twisted the rules for my own benefit.
Uh-huh. Very well.
So I was in a,
Well, let's
I
go
was
to
in a
number
pinch.
2. Um,
Well, there will not be.
will
There
there be
won't be
dragons
any.
in your number 2? Uh,
Well, they are prehistoric.
maybe some elves. Uh,
Well, look.
look, if
The
Cyclades is
last
on the
two.
list,
No, Cyclades is ancient history. That's that I know. The last two will be
okay.
fine. The last two will be fine. So,
All right.
because I was about to put stockpile on the list, but it
Uh-oh.
wasn't prehistoric enough. Okay,
Very
let's
well.
go to number 2. Well, the stocks and the prices in stockpile are prehistoric. Looking at new tariffs and stuff in
Very
US,
well.
very much prehistoric now. All right, let's get to number 2.
All right. My number two is a game we've already discussed,
It's a
and
game.
that game is Endless Winter. And Endless Winter is a prehistoric theme. It's early
Well,
people, and again the theme is really not particularly strong there, but it definitely is set in that world of an early civilization trying to survive the cold and hunt animals and stay alive, and it's a whole lot going on in this game, and it's a huge table hog, and I mean you can definitely tell it's the same publisher as Unconscious Mind because there's too much there. But it is
oh yeah,
not streamlined,
yeah,
but it's good and it's easy to figure out how all the things work together once you get into it. It's just a bit of a daunting game to set up, but it's a good production, and I enjoy the sort of twist on deck building and worker placement. Again, as you've already said, the deck building isn't particularly strong, and that's partially because there's only a certain number of cards. It's not like you're going to get any crazy cards in there. They're all kind of most of it is just sort of buying from a set of, I think, six that are always available to everyone and always do the same thing. And you also are kind of forced to do a little bit of everything in this game. You can't really specialize.
yeah.
And that's some things that some people don't like. I enjoy it. I do find the solo mode to be incredibly easy. But it's still a good time to kind of move things around and play in the system, even if it's kind of easy. But I love the game. I really enjoy playing it. It's one that I'm always happy if I can get out. But it is, again, it does have some issues. But one of those issues is not a prehistoric theme. That is definitely there.
Yeah, like a paint coat, like very
It's on the
thin.
box.
It's on the box. It's in the art.
It's a
So,
little more prehistoric than Atlantis Rising, though.
well, I would argue they're both prehistoric. It just,
Mm-hmm.
well, we like not guilty until innocent until proven guilty, which
Okay.
like
But
it's until you prove it's
when your next
yeah.
game is Chronicles of Crime, then
Well, if like until you prove that Atlantis was never there, we can never know.
we can never know. Except we also can. Uh, so go
It's
ahead
like
with your number
it's like
two.
it's like agnostic people. Anyway, all right. So my number two, and by the way, you said about the comparison of Unconscious Mind as the same publisher with Endless Winter. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but I think Unconscious Mind they learned something. It's more cohesive. It's
A little
more
bit.
connected.
Yep, a
Uh,
little bit.
except
With
what
one
that's
big exception.
yeah. Except that yeah, board that
That
it's unnecessary. Yeah,
it's an unnecessary extra thing, right? It's just their style is throw one extra thing in.
style is the goal. That's what they say.
Exactly.
All right. My number two is definitely a prehistoric game. It's about tribes who try to rise from something. It's Rise of Tribes.
Ah,
Yeah. So I enjoy this game. It wasn't very popular, but it's the same people who made the Dwellings of Elderwell and the the science fiction one. I don't remember the name.
that's actually a different publisher. Oh, or you
Andromeda's
mean the same
Age.
designer? Yeah. Andromeda's
No.
Edge is a different publisher.
Oh, different. But oh, Dwellings of Elderwell was breaking games, and
Hmm.
Andromeda's Edge is not. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's Cardboard Alchemy.
Oh, the because Peter won. He went there. He was working for breaking games, and then he switched, and they founded the new company. So yeah, because he was behind these games, and I got a. I don't remember if I think I had a prototype copy to preview,
You
and then I
did.
think he sent me a deluxe version of the final game. It was very fun, and there are some wooden components, some you know usual components,
Oh,
meeple, different shapes.
the
Anyway, Yeah.
The
The
wooden components are much better than the horrible little cardboard sheds.
Yes. Anyway, the game is about you trying to expand your tribe. There's a bit of that territory control. You do it through the dice mechanism, where you there's a grow, move, gather, and lead, which the the strength of this move, or the strength of this action, is dependent on what the dice are showing. So if there's more moons than the sun, the that particular action is weaker. So if there is more suns, then that particular action is stronger. If it's neither one, then it's the usual action, something like that. Anyway, uh, the interesting part is that sometimes you really need to, do the move action, but it's not as great right now. There's two moons, whatever. But you can always choose another action. But sometimes you have to choose that. You have to strategize about that. Everything else, try to build technologies, different technologies, which are basically cards. You get. I don't remember if you get points for them, something like that. It's. I played it a while ago, and you can see there's mammals, etc.
And it's a race to the points game, which is your favorite mechanism.
Yes, and it's a race to the points, which I like. There's always exceptions. I was okay with race to the points in this game. For some reason, probably building up, trying to get to stuff, and you're trying to build those wooden tokens, which are villages, and they give you constant points. So you're trying to build up your engine, so you will get a lot of points. There are some, points which are one-time points, but the villages, if you control them, you control the points. But other people can come and destroy that. It's so there's that interaction between players, and you need quite a lot of resources to build a village. So, and you race to 50 points, something like that, if I remember correctly.
I think it's like 30.
Maybe. Oh no, it's not.
It's 25 or 30.
I think it's 15.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's 0. It's even.
It's not very many.
Think it's. Yeah. Maybe it's not 50. 15. Yeah. Remember now.
Okay, 15 I could see, but not 50.
Yeah, you can see here. It says 15.
There you go.
All right.
That might
Anyway, that's a good game. It's a prehistoric game. There's nothing.
It's not a wonky prehistoric game. I'll give you that. It's it's a much better fit for this list than Atlantis Rising was. But
it's Tribe Rising. Yeah.
It's I enjoy this game, but I don't know that I've ever played it with anyone else who has. So this is one that I never really get played. I've heard the solo is good, and so I've kept mine mostly for that purpose, so I can kind of get into the solo. But I haven't really succeeded at that yet because there's a lot of other things to play. I thought about it when we made the list, but I just haven't loved it as much as some other people have, and I found other games that fit better.
I just think people, because it's so streamlined, it's so easy to play. It's very light. Maybe people didn't like how light it was for such a theme. Maybe they didn't like the mechanism of fighting each other, which is
that
also very streamlined.
Oh, it's very
I like
abstract, it. Right? I mean, it's just we go into the place and knock each other out.
Yeah, but I like this because the game is so easygoing. The game is so light. I like that they didn't complicate the combat. You just go in. You just go in. I have 6 people. You have 5. I have 1 left. Like each person kills each other, and then I have 1 left. That's it. I won. I see in advance that I will win this battle. So why not? Anyway, Rise of Tribes, my number 2.
It's fun. It's a fine one for the list.
Let's get to number 1.
All
and
right.
I'm sure
I suspect that we might have only one number 1.
Yeah. It's just so great. Let's see. Well,
all right.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Is it a cooperative game?
It is a cooperative game. Let me guess about yours. Is it a game that's not best with 4?
Yeah. It's not best with 4. Is it a game that the expansion is fine, but not necessary to enjoy the game?
There's several expansions actually. You can buy individual modules of
Well,
this game.
well, I would say the bigger expansion, the
Fair
big
enough.
one,
Hmm.
not the
Does
small
does
mini expansions.
does this game involve several different thrown together modules where you'll pick two or three and have a different game experience based on that?
Well, it might.
Hmm.
All right,
I
let's
see.
just no. Yeah, I'm not giving it
Is this a
away. I'm not
game
giving it away.
that I liked and I said was really good, and you were like, I'm not interested in it, and then eventually played and liked?
Might be the case, and I think I played on the cruise with Victor, and we both really were like we somebody came up. We tried to learn the rules. Somebody came up and like I'm gonna teach you. So he
Hmm.
taught us the game, and we played it, and then we played another combination of modules. Another like we went from the easiest, of course, but
Yeah.
we played 2 or 3 times in a row because it was so much fun.
Well, that
So,
wouldn't have been Victor because Victor had played it with me by then, but Victor
but
really
yeah, I
likes
played
this
with
game.
no, but I played with him
Oh, okay.
on a
Well,
cruise for some
well, Victor
reason.
doesn't
Yeah,
like teaching rules, so that might have been also part of it.
maybe, maybe. Anyway, let's let's
All right.
call it out.
So my
It's
my number one is Paleo.
well, my number one is Paleo.
There we go.
Well, we can switch between.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should do that
Matters.
constantly. Um,
Why do you enjoy this awful game?
well, so I mean, look, this game is just really it's kind of a special game, right? I enjoy it at its best at solo or two player. I think adding three is okay, but four is maybe. In fact, even the rules suggest not doing that.
Two
Um,
players, just
yeah.
2 players max.
Well, or solo or two, it's great,
Okay.
right? Because what this game is, this is a game about learning, right? Because as you are, the theme is kind of well incorporated into the mechanisms. Because you're going to be going through, you're going to divide up these cards, and you can kind of look at the backs of three of the cards and make your decision of which of those three you would like to reveal. Now, there are some cards where if you know it's going to be something bad, and if you skip it, you take a penalty. Um, but you're going to reveal the cards and simultaneously reveal the one that you've chosen and then kind of experience it. And you can either do something on your card or help someone else at the expense of doing something on your card. And so you're cooperating to do that. But you're going to go through this deck several times. And as you go through the deck, you sort of learn that this sort of eyes in a cave might be some kind of a big animal. And if your goal is to kill big animals, eventually you're going to have to go in there. But by having revealed it one time and learned what's there, you now know what you need to bring when you go back to that cave.
Yeah.
Sure, somebody died, but that person passed his knowledge around. And so as you're going to go through this, you're getting smarter about it. And even if you already know where everything is, that doesn't mean the game is, done and solved and plays itself, because you're going to, have different experiences as you try different orders in which you do things. And there's a bunch of different modules, and you always pick two or sometimes three and shuffle them together. There's one module that you use with always with others. And so you're going to have a different sort of experience each time you're going through it. You're trying to survive. You're trying to have enough food. You're trying to get 5 points, which is cave painting pieces, before you take 5 negative points, which are skulls, which means somebody died. And it's just a really interesting game. And I love the way the theme works, right? If you just sort of take a couple berries off the bush, you get a couple berries, but the bush grows back. If you harvest the bush, pick it and take it home, you might get more berries this time, but then the bush is gone.
Yeah.
And so you won't get anything again. So it's really an interesting way of trying to use this discovery through the deck in a natural way that's very easy for people to intuit. It's not a hard game to learn. Yet it's a game that has lots of possibilities. I just got a new module for it a couple weeks ago. One of those one-off ones about bees. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking
Oh,
to.
I think I have it. maybe not. There was a shortage of English copies. I could find
No.
only the German ones,
Oh,
but yeah,
well,
it's
don't get it in German. I got the first expansion in German because I didn't want to wait for it because I was having such a good time with it. And
I
and I
think I
will
want the whale
say,
one.
okay, I don't know if I have the whale one. No, I do have the whale one. But don't get it in German. I guess you can, but if you speak
Don't get
German,
it. If you
uh,
speak German, don't get it in German.
speak German, it's probably great. I'll say that the German version, there's a few things that require someone, either to translate quickly, right? You can probably do it with your phone these days, but when I got it, that wasn't as developed. So, but yeah, so I would just read the German.
Well, you can find it in English. So
Yeah, you can.
at some
It's
point it
widely
was out of
available.
print, but now it's back. It's at some point it was
Mhm.
difficult to get it. Hans im Glück is not particularly great at distributing via their English partners distributing games. Like Hans im Glück is, I really enjoy several games of Hans im Glück. When they make something, I want to try it because they have great games. But their distribution and getting out English copies of their games is annoying a bit. But anyway, about this game, everything you said, it's a survival game. What I like is this main mechanism, as you said, picking from three cards, and you see what they are. So there are some
You see
uh,
what they might
dr-
be.
dream, yeah, like dream cards. So this is forest, and you can find wood. You could find some uh, animals to kill, but then do you have enough spears, etc. So there's a lot of those small symbols, things that you need to collect to be better at those. For that, you need people. If you get more people into your tribe, you have to feed them. You have more mouths to feed. So sometimes you're like, oh, good, he's died. I don't have to feed him. But now I have one less uh, token, one less symbol to use. Um, so I really enjoyed this idea of the cards. You can pick easy scenarios like the first combinations of modules, or you can go very difficult. Like I think I tried the fifth one, the fifth module. It was very difficult, but of course, if I play the bunch, I'll
Yeah.
learn what to do. So I love that, and the expansion, well, it adds the farming thing.
Hmm.
Adds extra thing to keep an eye on. And if you play with expansion, you have to play with different decks of people and common cards.
Yeah.
So it's just a small thing. But what I enjoyed, like as you said, you learn stuff, and you can choose to pick one berry or get the whole thing,
Or
and
harvest the
but it's
bush.
destroyed.
Hmm.
Harvest the bush. With the animals, so it introduces animals. You can tame them, so they will produce stuff for you, but you have to kind of
You got to feed them.
y- feed them. Otherwise, they will, and you need to have those barriers, whatever, to for them to not run away. Anyway,
Hmm.
so they'll give you resources for the time being, or you can just kill that animal right away and get much more food right now. You have to make the decision if it's if you need the food. Like you'll see, like,
You
oh,
might need
I
it now.
cannot, yeah, I cannot wait for, like, we were short of 5 food, and sometimes you like, especially if you play with 2 players, you have a lot of discussion. So all right, so to be sure, and the common cards, which are like forest, mountain, whatever, they could also be danger cards. There can be danger
Right.
amongst them. So sometimes you're like, but you know that most of them are not danger. So if you're on a danger card, you are locked in that card. You cannot go help the other person. And sometimes we like discuss, okay, we need to find food, but if we your cards, choose this one, choose the camping card, because we know that it has the co-op helping hand symbol,
Right.
so that if I'm in a dire situation, you can come and help me. So sometimes you deliberately choose a certain
Hmm.
card to abandon its action and just to help the other person.
Yep.
But like if you choose, like, you choose that camping thing because you know there will be, if you choose another one, you might be stuck with your own red card or danger card. So
Hmm.
a lot of things going on. A lot of things how you choose how many people to take in, and so on, and technologies to develop and
Hmm.
tools, whatever. Like, what do you need right now? A lot of discussion with 2 players. I love to play it with 2 players. 3, not necessary. 4, forget.
Yeah,
But with two
I
players, it's fast enough.
it really is. 2 players is great. It works well solo too, but I almost wish it didn't say 3 and 4 players on the box.
Yeah, and one thing, do get the insert for this game,
Oh,
especially if
absolutely.
you have the expansion. You have to get the insert for this game because there are, like, I had at this point I had several zip bags,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what it comes with.
I found the wooden insert, which, by the way, when I bought the insert, so it had these glass dividers
Hmm.
or acrylic dividers, and there wasn't enough of them.
Hmm.
I had to go and separately buy an extra set of those dividers. I'm like, why? You say it is
That's
compatible with this and this, but then I have to buy extra dividers to divide everything. It was like not enough. I'm like,
mm,
and it's like the base game and expansion. I'm not talking about the extra modules, separate modules
right.
anyway. But you have to get it because there are so many modules, and if you get those mini expansions, there are even more.
Yeah,
You want to divide them, get them out quickly with lots of zip bags. Oh, you have to.
it
Okay,
takes forever. You gotta finally
where's the A module? Where's the
locate
B
this. Yeah,
module? Yeah,
yeah. I agree.
that's
I got a 3D printed insert that really makes it a lot better. But whatever kind you get, you just need something that separates the cards in a way that clearly identifies them.
well. We talked a lot about this game. We talked for a while, but it's an amazing game. Why not?
It is.
Um, all right, folks. This is it. This is the prehistoric games. Whether you agree or not, if Atlantis Rising was a real
Whether you believe
prehistoric
Atlantis
civilization,
Rising is prehistoric, we'd love to see comments on that. Um,
well, according to Board Game Geek again.
I think history has its eyes on me this time. Uh,
We'll
so
see. We'll see. Yeah.
at least Lost
Anyway,
Ruins of Harnack didn't make it on the list. Um,
they're
I'm
literally
surprised
those tablets with writing.
Nemesis
Could
didn't
not.
come in.
Well, I mean, the aliens are prehistoric in a
Uh-huh.
sense. As I remember from the movies, the predators and aliens were fighting for many
A
many
long, long
hundreds
time. Yeah.
hundreds of years, thousands of years. So before human history. So they
Hmm.
came to Earth to, like, during, I don't know, Stone Age, whatever, the beginning of human history. Anyway, but yeah,
Very well.
Nemesis didn't make my list only because I just wanted different games to put on. Okay,
Hmm.
no,
Got it.
no,
All
no.
right.
Anyway,
Very well. That's
thank you for
that.
watching, and share your list, which will include Atlantis Rising, of course. I'm sure of it.
Or some actual prehistoric games. Uh,
Yeah,
I
maybe
just love
maybe
you said
that.
I'm not going to put dinosaurs on, but you put like mystical technology.
Because the Wikipedia says it's a human history, not dinosaurs. There was no humans during dinosaur era. P-
Uh-huh.
What was it? No, Mesozoic? No, it's not. What's the era
Eh,
of dinosaurs? I don't remember. Anyway,
Jurassic?
no, it's a different term.
Oh,
It
okay.
was,
Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
yeah.
Let's end it
Say
here
goodbyes.
and go
Yeah.
there. All right. Bye bye.
Let's learn some history. Bye bye.
Hmm.